Welcome back, Super Brain. How's your memory? It's super. How are you remembering names, right? That's a superpower, and you really are becoming a super brain, a mental superhero. And what we're gonna focus on in this lesson, we've already covered names. I'm gonna give you just one more technique on how to master your memory for recalling people's names because it's that important. Now, we already talked about the power of MOM, M-O-M, motivation, observation, and mechanics. Then we went into be suave, believe, exercise, say the name, use the name, ask about the name, visualize the name, and end with the name. We also covered the advanced technique PI, remembering names as easy as pi. Place, imagine, and entwine. We're covering a lot. So you don't have to do all of these things, but anything is better than just forgetting a person's name. Now, in this lesson, I'm going to share with you a secret strategy that a former US president used to memorize the names and faces of every single person that he met. And it's such a simple strategy, but I want to give it to you because this could be your powerhouse. Remember, simple could be smooth and effective and easy, and that's what we're going to do right now. So this is a method used by President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, FDR, and it's a very simple strategy, and we're going to do it. I'm going to explain it. It's going to take a couple of minutes, and then we're going to practice, because practice makes what? Progress. And what FDR would do when he was meeting someone for the first time, when that person gave him his name or her name, he would imagine that name on that person's forehead. Very simple strategy, right? I'm sure some people actually do this naturally. So again, meeting someone for the first time, when you get their name, imagine their name is being written right on their forehead. Kind of like a name badge. When you go to events, you ever notice those name tags that says, hello, my name is Jim, right? Or my name is Ken. Or my name is Lauren, right? You can remember it by looking at that name tag. Some people remember names by looking at business cards. So I'm gonna teach you this strategy and we're gonna practice this a little bit. Now, just to make it even more effective, knowing that you remember things using your senses that are visual, auditory, and kinesthetic, I'm gonna make it even more memorable for you right now. So let's say somebody introduces themselves and their name was Gary. Gary. What I want you to do as you're meeting Gary, I want you to practice doing this. I want you to imagine that you're handwriting their name using your favorite color marker on their forehead. So you make it very visual. So I want you to pick your favorite color and see that on their forehead. Maybe it's red, maybe it's blue, maybe it's green, maybe it's purple, maybe it's orange, yellow, whatever it is, that's the color you're using. Now, that's visual. Auditory you're using because you're repeating the name. Gary, it's nice to meet you. Now the kinesthetic, what does kinesthetic mean? Kinesthetic means using your body because we have this muscle memory, right? We tend to remember things based on movements. And so what I'd like you to do is you're not going to use your hand movements and actually draw their name on their forehead, obviously, but you're going to do something called micro movements. You can imagine right now with your dominant hand writing the person's name, but instead of doing it very exaggerated, you're going to minimize it. You're just on the side of your body, just move it slightly as if you're drawing their name on their forehead. Do you see that? Can you feel what you're doing right now? So let's put this into practice. Right now, I'm going to show you some pictures of new people and introduce them by name. When I say their name, I want you to imagine you're putting their name on their forehead and just draw it out. Not in reality, but just imagine you're doing it and moving the muscles in your fingers and also see it in your favorite color, okay? So I'm about to introduce you to your new friends. First, I'd like to introduce you to Sophia. Now imagine you're writing her name on her forehead. Imagine that. Look at the person. You're paying attention to the name and the face. Very good. Now next, I'd like to introduce you to Ken. This is Ken. Say hi to Ken. So imagine Ken's name, K-E-N, right on their forehead in your favorite color, and you're moving your fingers as you're doing it. Okay, wonderful. So next, we have Yulia. Imagine you're spelling it right on her forehead with your favorite color, Y-U-L-I-A. Next, I'd like to introduce you to Ming, M-I-N-G. Look at Ming, you're looking at the face, And you're writing his name right on the forehead. Just imagine you're doing that. Okay, and next you have Laura. Say hello to Laura. And finally, I'd like to introduce you to Dennis. Remember, the power of observation. You're paying attention, looking at the face, drawing out the name. Okay, super brain, you met 6 individuals, maybe at a cocktail party or a wedding or at a conference. Now you're about to leave the party and you see the very first person. Here you go. Do you remember their name? Who is this gentleman that you just met? This is who? Do you remember his name? Dennis. Very good, Dennis. Okay, the second person that you see at the party as you're saying goodbye to people is this woman. What was her name? Do you see it on the forehead? All right, say it out loud. Sophia, very nice. Okay, after Sophia, how are we doing so far? Pretty good? Great. And next person here is this gentleman. What was his name? And of course, you remember it, it is Ming. Fantastic. Your super brain is even more super. We're halfway there. Okay, as you're walking towards the door, you get to see this woman. What was her name? Do you remember her name? What comes to mind? Of course, it is Laura. Very good. And standing right next to Laura is this gentleman. Who is he? Shout out. This one's, you got this one, of course. This is Ken, yes. And finally, waiting for you at the door there, she's leaving also as well. You of course remember this person. What is her name? And of course it's Yulia. So how do we do? How's your memory? It's super. And you don't have to be perfect at this. This is the very first time you've tried this. What you're looking for is progress. So I'm gonna ask you to practice. So the bad news is it takes effort. The good news is it doesn't take as much as you think. And so practice this in the real world. Go out there, and if you meet a new human being, which many of us do every single day, practice this technique of writing this on their forehead in imaginary marker and see how that does for you. Maybe this technique really resonates with you. And what we'd love for you to be able to do is go into the community and share your results, share your ahas, share your feedback with your tribe. And that's really where the magic happens again. Thank you so much for participating in this lesson. I can't wait to see you tomorrow.